What's up, guys? This is No Profile. I'm bringing the No Profile podcast back. I know it's been, honestly, probably a couple of years since I've done a podcast. What I want to do, honestly, is I'm going to bring on buddies, I don't even know, I guess mainly friends and all that other stuff, family, and just I'm going to get back into podcasting with, I don't know, I guess whatever I got. And a lot of it just kind of comes down to I've always been down to do like deep conversations with people. Also, too, just like it's fun to, I guess, know or get to know like people's different, point of views and kind of see what other people go through. So I'm going to bring back the podcast. No Profile I took a big break because there was a really hard, it was hard for me to kind of manage doing this stuff, and especially too like with the job that I have and all this other stuff, and then just kind of having like jujitsu at nighttime. So now I'm going to try to find whatever free time I have just to do the podcast. And the reason why I wanted to kind of throw this one up there is because this is kind of like an update of my life of what's happening. And I think it's just a really good reintroduction of bringing back this podcast. A little bit about what's kind of going on is, I got my own place now, so I'm in kind of like an empty apartment as of right now. There's a couple things. It's not fully, furnished or whatever, but yeah, we're moving. We're going to get this podcast up and going. And, also too, I guess another one. Yeah, I moved out, and, there's a big change with, things with my daughter and my old lady that I was with. Well, I guess you could say, the person I was with, things just kind of just didn't work out. And, I guess the best way to put it is like, it happens. And, a lot of it kind of comes down to, us, like we just had communication, I guess, issues. And a big piece of it also too is that, you end up growing, and when you grow, things change, and it just matters if, you see yourself changing with the person you want to be with, or even saying, I guess, even if I guess whatever change might be for the better, it's just that sometimes things don't align correctly. And, so, we just, it came down to the point where the decision was made, and we ended up splitting up. So I ended up moving out because technically that is her place, and there was just no way that we can. I guess there was no compromise for what was going on right now, and it just came down to accepting it. And it's been really hard for me to calm my nerves and just kind of tell myself that it's okay. And this kind of stuff happens. Like, it doesn't matter how much, you want your family to stay together. Cause I'm one of those people that truly believe that. And, I like, if there's something I could have done to fix it, like I would have tried, and, it's just such a different feeling. And also too, it's just such a big life change. Only being able to kind of spend like half that time with my daughter now. And, cause we split up a schedule, and we have like our own schedule now. And it comes down to like, I get to see her, twice, I have her 2 nights, she has her 2 nights. And on the 2 nights that she's with me, it's like, it's great. But then I'm also, I guess you could say I tend to think about how she might be affected, and I'm also thinking about how my daughter's affected, and then how, my old lady was affected or is being, or how she's being affected as well. And so a lot of it kind of just comes down to, I usually tend to overthink. A lot of my anxiety kind of gets to me, and I try not to let it, get to me, and I try not to let it bother me. But at the same time, I just like still kind of care about people's feelings, and I know at the end of the day, like I still care for them, and I still care for her, and I still care about like how her well-being is, and things like that. But it's coming down to realization where I'm starting to, figure out that whatever is going on, like is okay. And life's never going to be perfect. Relationships are never going to be perfect. Work's never going to be perfect, things like that. But the only thing you can do is just continue to try to make everything better and always just try to push forward. I, you know, I, I've always dealt with kind of this issue of kind of always having like this, I don't know if I would say like low self-esteem, but I guess just sometimes I beat up on myself because I tend to think like too much of what I can and can't do. And what constantly kind of goes through my head is like, man, what can I do to fix things? What can I do to help out situations? Or what can I do to make people's, I guess, lives easier? I do that. I try to do that with work. I tried doing that with her. I do that with my daughter. And I guess it just goes in. This is kind of like how my mind works, is like I always just try to think about like how can I please the people around me and still kind of please myself. And I'm not gonna lie to you, yeah, I am a big giver. Like I don't mind giving whenever I can, and I don't mind helping whenever I can. And if it helps them, and I guess things like that, I can do it. The breakup was wasn't what I expected or what I kind of was hoping for, and a lot of the things that I wish could have been differently, like obviously didn't happen. And it was a little bit, and it wasn't a little bit, it was a really big task. Or honestly, like I guess you could say, like, yeah, it was really hard for me to get to this point now, coming down to almost like 3 weeks to a month of from us splitting up, and I kind of just felt like my world was crumbling. And a lot of it kind of came down to the fact that, like, I was hoping that I could change her mind. I was hoping that I could change the situation. I was going up and down the walls just trying to figure out what could I do to make, this realistically, this pain go away, because it hurts me, and it makes me pretty sad to know that, like, obviously there's like a split between my daughter, and now it's coming down to, like, I get it. Like, I get to see her quite often, but those nights are just different, when you're not laying with your kiddo, and you're hoping to hold them every night. You want to give them a kiss goodnight every night, and my biggest thing was always just trying to keep them safe. And little by little, it starts to kind of like tear you down, and it tore me down a lot in the beginning. And now it's kind of it's a lot easier for me to deal with now, but it still does hurt, and it hurts a lot to not always be there for her, And same thing for the girl I was with. It's hard not to try to comfort somebody when you really love somebody. And I guess you could say that's how I knew, or how I know that I truly love this person, is because even though it hurts me, and I'm not saying that it doesn't hurt her, and I'm not disregarding that in any type of way, but I guess the way that you love somebody and you really care for them is that you're gonna kind of like accept their terms, and you come to agreement with them. And also too, you'll do whatever it is that makes them happy. And even if it hurts me, even if it tears me down and it breaks me, I'm doing it because I know that eventually she'll be happy. She will be happy, and I know she's probably getting there, and it's going to be a little bit of, a task for her as well. It's not easy for both of us. We spent almost 11 years of our lives together. And there was just like, for me, whenever it comes down to it, I always think about like all the good times, and there was a couple bad times, but those bad times never really matter when you realize like, man, if I gotta lose this person over something like this, was it really that big of an issue? Was it really that bad? And the nice part with kind of like our relationship is like, we really didn't have too many bad points. There was a lot of things that we just couldn't, I guess, figure out on each other. And, I'm not saying that people don't ever change, but sometimes it just comes down to like, you notice that it's gonna have to happen, and it has to happen when it's more addressed, and I would say ordered to you. And I think that's just, to be honest with you, a lot of, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of men do work a lot easier when you just kind of tell us what we need to do, compared to in a sense, like if there's like an option, like if you kind of give us an option, I feel like maybe sometimes, yeah, we'll choose whatever sounds easiest. But you know what, like even too, it's just when it comes down to it, like communicating that you really, I guess, that you really want something, especially too, if you try to communicate it to your man or whatever, or, your significant other, is like, sometimes you just got to tell them. And I feel like a lot of people try to beat around the bush on that one, and they try to think like, not in a sense like people could read people's minds, but things will just be very like passive, instead of like, really trying to sound, it sounds kind of shitty, but like be the aggressor in the conversation. Like, if you love this person, like don't be afraid not to tell them the truth. Like, don't be afraid. And I think that's what kind of helped with our relationship, is like she was very like stern on things that she really wanted at times. And and it's just, I couldn't deliver I guess, and there was just things that she needed that I guess I couldn't, I guess, I don't know, maybe I'll never reach him, and it's okay. Like, now I'm getting to that point where I'm okay, and I'm starting to, I guess you could say, like, move on. Like, it sounds shitty and it feels shitty, just because, you do lose a best friend, you lose someone that you've always thought, especially too for me, like, my future was with this person. My kid is with this person. I was hoping for future kids with this person. And now that's kind of like at a standstill. Not at a standstill, but obviously that's gone. And you kind of just have to pick up and move on again. And it did take a lot of me to tell myself that this is not, this isn't there anymore, and you can't I couldn't hold on to it. And the more I held on to the thought of us getting back together, it more so would just kind of break me throughout the days. And I would just sit there, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd cry at night, I'd fucking cry during the day, I would break down and just kind of, I'd become a fucking ghost, and I didn't really care. And I didn't want anyone to see me. And sadly enough, I fucking started smoking cigarettes again, and it's not something I'm proud of, but it's shitty to know that something can just give you, I guess you could say it's kind of like drugs, it gets you away for just even like a couple minutes, or, for people that do drugs, maybe a couple hours, but it makes you forget. But the minute you're done, you're just back in that same situation. And my plan is to quit, because I personally, I don't like smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes have never like fixed any of my issues. I feel like if anything, they've like hindered my breathing in in a big way. And, also too, it's just like, it's bad for your health. I try and do whatever I can to keep myself healthy. And, I guess you could just say like, yeah, when it comes down to stress, it's just, I was really stressed out. And that stuff kind of just broke me. And I guess like a big piece of it also too was, man, when this is like a little side story, but what really fucked me up inside was it was Sunday. It was like a Sunday, and I remember I took my daughter to the park, I just picked her up and all this other stuff, and I just picked her up and we were getting ready to go to the park so she can go play and do whatever and hang out so I can at least get my days with her, my 2 days. And so I at least try to stay like pretty proactive with her, like I want to try to spend as much time as I can with her and make sure that she has fun on the days that she's with me. And even when she's not with me, I hope that I know she's having fun, and I remember when she said this to me, I was damn near like, I was a mess. Like I just couldn't stop thinking about like, man, this is where I'm at now. And this is my reality. And she told me after, just like a couple of hours or like an hour or two of playing at the park, she was like, Papa, can we go home? And that's what hit me really hard, is that my daughter, realistically, like that wasn't my home anymore, and it's not my home anymore, and I couldn't take her anywhere to make it a home, and I know she wanted to go back to her mom's house because that is her home. She's, all she's ever known was us and, the people around us. But when it came down to coming home, she always knew that her house was, or her home is with, the mom, and with her mom. So I remember I sat there just kind of like hopeless, and I started crying just because like it feels so defeating to know that your daughter has like kind of like nowhere to go, and well, you realistically you have somewhere to go, but you just don't, it's not your own. And I'm not saying like I didn't have help, I couldn't go anywhere, things like that, but it's like, man, I can't just open the door and put my stuff, where it needs, or like where I want it to now. And I can't just walk in and know that this is okay. Like, hey baby, let's go home. Like if you want to go home, let's go home. So that part of me, really, that I remember that day, and I think one day maybe I'll get over that feeling of, cause that one really hurt, to hear that. And then, now it's, now it's fine. Like now it's better. She knows that now she can come to Papa's house. She can come to Papa's house and she can, have her toys here, and, she can do whatever she wants here. Like there's no restrictions on that, cause I did have a friend that was helping me out, and, she was, such a blessing to fucking be able to help me out and kind of like help me get through my like, my tough times, and really talk to me about like, look, man, like this is your new life. Like you have to come to accepting it. And, it is my new life. It's my new, I guess you could say like, this is like my fresh start again. And it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be lonely. It's okay to be, like it's okay to cry, and I had to tell myself that there's going to be those days that I have, and I'm going to break. There's going to be those days that I'm happy, and I'm, and then, yeah, I don't know. I guess you could say that I'm happy, but there are moments that I do think about, like, kind of like, I just get in that mood where, I wish you could change the future. I wish you could change the past, but there's nothing you can do. And my biggest thing too is I believe, when I talk about this, I think, how people say, well, maybe it's fate, but I feel like fate is whatever you make it. You're not destined to do something and it's like this all miracle thing. It's like, no, if you want it and if you want to do it bad enough, you're going to work for it. And if you're going to, like, kind of like how, like, my whole career, or how my career started and things like that. Like, I told myself, I was like, man, like, I need to do something. I need to be something. I need to not have all the stress put on, my old, my old lady at the time. And so I was really working hard to get this plumbing thing going. And, luckily I had a buddy that helped me, or obviously he picked me up and he kind of, showed me through the ropes. And now it's like, things are going good. And I'm just continuing to keep pushing to always be, like, better at whatever the hell I'm at. And I know that's one thing about me, is that I'll probably never give up on, is, like, I'll always try to be a good person. I'll always try to be, a better partner eventually. And I'll always try to have, like, this, I'll just always have that drive to get better. And, there are times where I get lazy, or I get like, man, like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. But it always comes down to one thing. It always just comes down to, like, I have to make sure that I gotta push to show my daughter that I can't break. I gotta show my daughter that I'm not who, I'm a better man. Like, I'm gonna be that guy that she can call on if she ever needs something. Like, I'm there. I got you. You're never gonna have to worry about that. And that's what I've always wanted for my family and my daughter, or realistically for my family. Like, I've always wanted to just always, I guess, try to help and whatever kind of made their lives easier, I would try. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not, like I said, I'm not perfect. I know I'm not fucking perfect, but I guess you could say I'm just always willing to give it a shot. And I it's really hard for me to give up on something. And I know that because when it really comes down to it, like, I finally gave up on, this is like an update, is like last year kind of went through the same thing, but I finally kind of gave up on trying to accept my dad's, or trying to get my dad's approval. And I finally told myself, like, man, this ain't worth it. I'm always constantly hurt because he doesn't want to be in my life. I'm constantly hurting because he doesn't accept me. Like, he doesn't want me to, he doesn't think, like, oh, okay, well, you should have been a doctor. I'm like, dude, at least I'm not doing drugs, and I'm not this, like, complete asshole that just does whatever, and that's what always kind of told me, like, I always wanted to be a better father for my daughter, is because I grew up in a broken home. And my mom was amazing. She did everything she could to help us. And that's how I know I wasn't the best kid in the world, but I always tried, and I always try to show my mom love. But I know with my dad, it was, like I said, I was in a broken home, and my dad would, beat the shit out of me, and I'd get abused and things like that. And, there's times where, you say you love somebody, and I even told him, I was like, man, do you even fucking love me? And he kind of sat there and gave me nothing. And it sucks because, like, those are, like, the memories that you still, like, kind of keep in your head, and you just kind of try not to talk about them. And I try not to tell people like all the time. And especially too, I don't think I've ever actually told anybody that, but like I sat there one time, you know, we kind of got into an argument and I was trying to tell him like, look, man, I just want you to be my dad. And, you know, like I get it. We don't have the best relationship, but man, I'd love to try to work things out and talk to you. And just to know that he kind of like shut me down the way he did, and was kind of just like, no, it's too late. Like there's nothing you can do to help this, is what has kind of like always scarred me, because I'm like, man, like I just want to, like, I just want to help that. Like I'm willing to kind of do whatever it takes to have that relationship. And he really didn't want that relationship. And, so that kind of, like that moment really, broke me down when I thought about it. And also too, even too in the moment, it was just bad, because I was really upset knowing that this is who he is. He's not willing to give me a chance. Like he's not willing to accept his own son. So I always told myself, it doesn't matter how many times my daughter's going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter how many times she's going to, you know, disappoint me, or it doesn't matter, you know, things like that. Like it's not going to matter on how many times, you know, something bad happens in mine and her relationship. I'm always going to be there for my daughter. And I'm going to always let her know, like, I have your back no matter what. Like, I'll always be there. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. Like, even if it hurts me, I'll always still have that image of her. Like, man, she did everything possible. Or, you know, like I did everything possible when she was a little kid just to take care of him. And you kind of sit here and, you know, it's crazy to think that you, like the day when she was born, it's just this like little human, you know, and it's this person that you kind of brought into this life. And, not gonna lie, like, you know, when she was born, I remember I was like, it hit me that I was a dad, but it didn't hit me to the point where it hit me like it did now. And what I'm talking about is like, you start to think as they get older and as they start to communicate with you, and as, you know, things kind of, start to like kind of open up, and then you start to kind of figure out like this is who your daughter is, and this is who this person is, and this is who that person is. And like, you know, you start to see little things inside of them that are kind of like you know, and that's what really made me like think about it. Like I can't ever imagine not leaving my kid behind, or ever not loving him kind of like the way that I guess I felt when I was younger, you know. And I like the love that I try to show my daughter is unconditional. The love that I try to show her when she gets to see like, you know, her mother, like I want her to know, like, look, your mother is like a special person. I need you to always remember that. And I always want her to know that her mom is, to me, damn well one of the best people, but she's also just such a great mom, you know, and she tries so hard to really like please my daughter and always make her happy. And that's why I would never in my entire life, and I don't ever regret not having a daughter with her. She's just so good. She's just such a like a good person. And she's always gonna like, it's always gonna be this thing. Like I'll never try to, I never want to disrespect her. Like I never want to show your mom like, hey, you know, be disrespectful to your mom because she did this, you know, or treat your mom like that because this happened, and things like that. Like I'll never be like that. And it's just it's just so different because, yeah, I don't know. I guess, like I said, I just could never see myself ever wanting to be a person that I'm not. And I know I can never be that person that would, try to be, I guess, like a dick to my daughter's mom. And even at like where we're at now, like we still have respect for each other, and I still try to give her respect, and I still try to show her like, look, I still care about you guys, or I still care about you, as an individual, and I'm still here willing to take care of you guys, even if this isn't like even if we're not together. And I know most people probably think, oh yeah, you're a fucking simp, dude, like you're this, but it's like, no, I always told myself that the family I have, or the family that I had, I would always try to take care of them. And I know if like times get tough for her, like I'll be there for her, and and if she doesn't need me, then she doesn't need me, and that's okay. So it always just kind of comes down to I don't know, I guess in your relationship, or whatever relationship you guys have, or whoever is listening, like, man, like if you got someone you love, like just, take care of them. Always try to take care of them, and always try to show them that they're, special and things like that. And even if it's not something that you can do with like, and materialism, if you can't do it with money, then, just show them that you care and things like that. And I'm happy to see, personally, a lot of my friends that are striving, or like not striving, but thriving with like their relationships. And it's good to see like those people like doing well, and to kind of see like even like my buddy's relationship, like, and see my buddy's relationship, and see like where they came from and what happened, and them piecing all the piecing their kind of lives back together. And they said, screw it, you know what, like I love you and you love me, and let's be one big happy family type shit. But seriously, like, yeah, like to hear that they're finally like, they realize like, look, there's like, I can't do this without you. I don't want to do this without you. And you're the person I want. You're my person. And my big thing is like, I don't think it's more of like a fate thing of who the person you are, or the person you choose. It's the person you choose, and that is how it turns out, and that's who you want. It's not like, some person falls into your life and they're just like amazing from day one, and everybody can be amazing, especially too from the beginning, because in the first stages of your relationship, you're so blinded by whatever flaws they might have, or even too, you don't really mind whatever, I guess whatever, like if they really don't align with you, you kind of really don't mind, because you're just so like blinded to all those things, because you're like, well, shit, like they're a good person, they have this, they have that, and they treat me well. And that's why truly with like, long lasting couples, and couples that have been together for so long, it is a lot harder, but you choose to be with that person, because at the end of the day, it's like, man, I've also come to accustom with this person for so long. And I think now I finally told myself, and it's actually starting to become more of a realistic thing, is like, man, you really don't, I feel like love anymore, or love now is not an emotion anymore. It's like, or it's not, it is an emotion, but when you choose to love somebody is completely different. Like now it's like, now I'm starting to figure that out. Like when you really do love somebody, you choose this, you choose that, you choose to make them happy, you choose to, respect their wishes, you choose to be there for them every day, and you choose to be their partner. So for me, it's telling myself now, like, man, the person I want to be with, like, I want to be chosen. Like I want to be, and I don't even know how I feel about honestly. Like as of right now, I can't even tell myself to talk to anybody. I can't even tell myself to, you know, get on a dating app. I can't even tell myself to go out because I'm just more so focused on like the things that I really want to, like I need to have for myself before I try to give it to somebody else, you know. And I'm really like trying to get to this point where I'm just like always going to be financially stable. I'm not going to have this issue. And actually now more than ever, it's becoming more of like a realistic thing. Like ever since kind of getting like this like slight promotion with my job, I am becoming more financially stable, or you know, more financially stable. And I am able to rent my own place. Well, actually I'm renting with a buddy, but you know, I'm able to like kind of do things for myself, you know. And I guess with me getting this new place, now I'm just kind of I'm able just to restart, and I kind of like get to reset my mind on like what matters, you know. Like, and to me, no matter what, like my family will always matter. The ones I've loved will always matter, or the ones I love will always matter. And I am I'm not the best right now, and I'm not, you know, happy right now, and I'm not, you know, doing great, but like I'm getting there like day by day as I kind of go through this. It's like it just kind of, it's starting to work itself out, and I'm starting to come to terms with, you know, with how things are going. And I was really broken just like, you know, a couple days ago. Like it just kind of felt like the end for me. And you know, it sucks. Like you start to think stupid, and then I saw my daughter, and I had to just go see her, and it changes everything. Like it changes my whole reality. It changes my whole perspective again. And then I come back to square one, you know. But it sucks because I feel like every 2 days, like I kind of get that little small reset of I miss my daughter, and I start to think about what she's doing, and I think about if she misses me. And I think a lot of people that say like, hey, it's okay, like, you know, this is okay. Like there's people that co-parent, and I get it. There are people that co-parent, but I always told myself I didn't want that for myself. Just because when I say I'm obsessed with my daughter, like I am truly obsessed with my daughter. I would do anything to be by her side. And yeah, like I said, I'm protective because of her. Like I have no other idea. And it's as shitty as it says, you know, it sounds like people will say, just focus on yourself, you know, deal with what you got to deal with right now. It's, you know, like this is like your guys' time to focus on it yourself. And when I focus on myself, I sit myself down, and I kind of just tell myself like, man, like I can't, like I can focus on the things that I need to do, but at the end of the day, like my focus is always my daughter. My focus is always, you know, in a sense, like, how can I help her? How can I do this? How can I, you know, teach her something? Or how can I, you know, show her that I love her? And I think it's just been like the best thing becoming a dad is because that becoming a father like has kind of changed my whole life, and it's like changed everything about me in so many different ways. And you kind of lose yourself a little bit, right? You lose yourself when you become a parent, and that's okay. It's okay to lose yourself. You know, and it's not, I'm not saying it's completely lose yourself in this, but you know, you do lose a lot of yourself when you do become a parent. You do lose a lot of your individuality when you become a parent, because now it's you're pouring all your effort into your kid. And I think that's what happened with me as a father, is because I didn't really get that kind of like back towards me. That I try to do that with her, and
that 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 kind of is what, like I said, it like pushes me through my days to be a better father for her. And I could just never give up on my kid as many times as I've ever wanted to give up. I just can't. And yeah, my life is completely different now, and it's such a big change. And I'm like I'm happy for everybody, and I'm happy for them. I'm happy for my daughter, being the person that she is. And I'm even happy for the woman I was with, and or my old lady, or yeah, my ex. I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she's kind of finding herself again, and she's figuring things out for herself. And I know she'll be good. And things come and go. And this isn't going to be me forever. I'm not going to I'll always get emotional when I talk about my daughter. And but I know these tough times are not going to last. They're not going to be like this forever, and I'm going to get through it. And I always do get through it. Just this time is a lot harder. You end up losing the person you really care about, and at the same time, there's nothing you can do about it. And that's what I said. Like, that's how I knew. I guess that's how I know. Not even knew. That's how I know you truly love somebody. You truly care for them. Is that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how bad it hurts you. You want them to be happy, and if they're happy, then I'm happy. And yeah, I think I'm done pouring my feelings out and kind of just venting on this one. And I promise you guys on the next couple ones, like I'll be happier. I'll kind of be what everyone sees, which is sometimes I mask a lot of my pain or like whatever I'm going through with, trying to make everyone smile. And I know people, I know especially too, like a lot of people will hide how they truly feel, and they'll try to make other people happy. And that's mainly how I've always been. Is I've always tried to be that jokester, even if I'm going through something, I've always tried to make other people laugh because it makes me feel pretty good, even if it's just for that slight moment. And I'll still be that person. I'll always be that person that tries to make everyone happy. And I know my happiness is coming soon, so yeah, that was the reintroduction to No Profile. And we'll get some stuff moving soon. We'll get some podcasts posted soon, and I want to try to get 1 to 2 podcasts out a week, and we'll start inviting people on here. I know I want to get a couple buddies on here, and like I already have a couple buddies in mind. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited. Also too, we're going to be putting, I know I didn't say this, but I have plans for music coming out soon in the next like 6 months. We're already kind of like in the works of writing like 2 songs that are like already started. We kind of already have like a structure for them. But it's now mainly just trying to get the drums on there and then get like a good drum track going. And as soon as we kind of figure that out, then it'll be good, But little by little, I'm hoping that I could put music out again, and whoever wants to, go see the shows, whatever. The new band's going to be called Down Not Out, and we are going to be playing some pop punk music as like bonus tracks, and then we're mainly going to be hardcore music. But who knows, like if we just fit the bill with pop punk more, then I'm down to do whatever wherever this takes me. But realistically, it's just going to be like a fun project. It's not really going to be like this crazy like full forced band that I was in prior, you know. And I wish it was with my old band members, but you know, those guys got careers, they got things going on. And I mean, I am taking one of the guys with me, which is, you know, my buddy Ali. Like we're gonna do we're gonna do the band together. He's gonna play guitar, and we also got another buddy of ours from a band that we used to play with in San Diego, which is Gabe. He's gonna play drums. But like I said, we're just trying to figure out how to get like the drum tracks, or if he can record drums for us, or if we could send him the song and then he gets it back to us somehow, you know, things like that. Cause we do have different schedules. But yeah, so I'll have music coming out soon. The band is going to be called Down Not Out, and I hope you guys do like it, and I hope you guys like the podcast. I hope you guys, and if you do like it, you know, like, subscribe, do whatever you want with it. You actually don't have to subscribe. I'm going to post these up on my Instagrams whenever I come out with a new episode, and if you guys want to watch it, feel free. If you guys don't want to watch it, you know, then who cares? But yeah, that was No Profile. I will see you guys in the next one.